Hoop Tribe, what's going on? Welcome back. It's episode 10 of Let's Talk Hoops. I'm your host, Cassie Chantel. Some of y'all call me Coach C. And listen, this is going to be a different show than what you're used to. And before we go any further, I want to be transparent with you. You don't see any Daydrill 101. They're no longer affiliated with Women's Basketball 365, but I'm wishing them the best in all of their future endeavors. And I appreciate them so much for the past 9 episodes and all of their contributions to the community. And with that said, I'm expanding the team. I've been interviewing people for the past week from all over the world. Just spoke to someone in the Philippines. It was 1 a.m. over there. So, yeah, I'm adding new people to the team. If you're interested in being a contributor, whether it's from photography to written articles, please go to womensbasketball365.com. Fill out the contact form and I will be in touch soon because it can't just be me. We got to keep this thing growing. I'm a team player, okay? I'm trying to get this thing where it's a network where we're reporting women's basketball updates 365 days of the year, hence the name. Now, the show is going to be restructured. So you're going to see some new things, and I'm building a plan as I'm flying. What you see in this episode might not be what you see in the next episode, but y'all here with me and we're growing together. And I appreciate y'all from whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, all of the things right here on YouTube. Thank you for keeping this thing going, sharing my content, because y'all are a part of the growth with me. And some of y'all I talk to every day, just like y'all, my homies, because y'all are my Hoops Tribe family. Now, I want to bring y'all this part of the segment where we go inside of the game because I have been able to report and be in the field at some of these games. The past two have been with the Atlanta Dream. I had the honor to be at the Minnesota versus Atlanta game, and this was probably one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year. It went into overtime. This was probably the most hype I've seen the Dream fan base. They were so engaged. They're like this all the time, but this game, I felt like things were personal. Then we saw Ryan and Fee go at it. The fans was like, nah, hold on, sis. Don't be trying our Ryan Howard. So yeah, it was intense if you were not a Dream fan. So I had to bring back this quote of me talking to Nia Coffee.
The fact that we're always selling out our games and they bring the energy and the atmosphere, and like it's hard playing here. People hear them, we feel the energy, like they're into the game, they're locked in, so you can feel that. So and I know for a fact other teams feel that too.
Minnesota definitely felt that. And so the power went out. Atlanta was under a flash flood warning to 11:30 that night. And after the power went out in the second quarter, it was like something about that powered the Atlanta Dream up. They were down 43 to 28, but they went on a run right before the half and ended the half 52 to 47. Now, I have to say this because I don't know what voting is going to look like at the end of the season, but I'm telling you here right now, I think Naz Hillmon is one of the best defenders in the league, underrated, and she's coming off of the bench. I think she could be in that all defensive team conversation. I also think that she could be in the six-player conversation, but it's going to be hard because I also believe that goes to Natisha Heidemann. But if you look right here, she's giving Nafisa Collier a run for her money. This moment got a little heated because she wanted there to be a foul on Nafisa Collier, but it ended up being a jump ball. You can see her screaming, foul, like right here. It was that type of game, that kind of atmosphere. The players were into it. They were hyped. But with that said, yes, I think Naz Hillmon is a sixth player of the year candidate. Now, looking at her numbers versus Natisha Heidemann, honestly, it's kind of close because looking at Naz, she's in 19 minutes, she has 6 points. She has 4.8 rebounds, so almost 5 rebounds, almost 2 assists. And her 3-point percentage is at 33%, and her field goal percentage is at 50%. With Natisha Heidemann, 19 minutes, she plays zero point 0.6 more minutes than Naz. She's averaging 8 points. She's averaging 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Her field goal percentage is 47.4%, and her 3-point percentage is 28.9%. So really, she's only earning about 2 more points than Naz, but everything else, Naz beats her out. So I think I'm getting more of the look value. Like when I'm watching the Minnesota games, I feel like Natisha Heidemann is having really big games coming off of the bench. But the stats show that Naz is having those big moments as well. I was honestly surprised I didn't see more Nia Coffey in this game. She only got 1 minute. I feel like she's been giving Atlanta some great minutes, but for some reason, the consistency of her minutes have been all over the place. Jordin Canada had a great game, one of the best games of the season for her, in my opinion. She was really disruptive on defense. She had 14 points, 4 steals, 7 assists with just 1 turnover. I don't feel like any guard on the Lynx team could stay in front of her, but it was the second layer of defense that was able to contest. So instead of her trying to finish at the rim every time, I would love to see her get more of that, putting on the brakes and pulling up immediately for that midi, because that's going to take, she's averaging like 6 points a game right now. I think that if she incorporates that stop and pop more in her game, that's going to get her up to 10 points. And that would take this 14-point game into a 20-point game. Both of these teams were coming off of losses. Atlanta lost to Dallas. And the most glaring thing about their loss to Dallas was their point battle. Like they lost the point battle in the paint. They lost to Dallas 30-14 in the paint. But in this loss to Minnesota, they lost it 52-24. Both teams made 33 field goals, but the difference was the Lynx made 13 threes. Atlanta shot 18.2% from the 3-point line. So really poor 3-point shooting night, and they're trying to be a perimeter team. So it's kind of the case where you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, when those shots are going down and when to take it to the rack. And I know that the Lynx were excited to have Bridget Carleton back to her regular form. She had a season high of 14 points. She was 100% from the floor, 100% from three, and 100% from with her field goal shooting. And then Carly Samuelson had one of her biggest nights in a Lynx jersey, and that's what they got her for. And that's what I anticipated her being. She knocked down 2 clutch 3-point shots for them when they really needed it. And that's what they're looking for when it comes to Carly Samuelson. But a new segment of this show is called Feeding the Girls. Who's been feeding the girls all week? I had to put Asia Wilson as the cover of this episode because I love this look. Tens at the nines. I don't really know what this engagement was about. I think it was something with policy, but yeah, she got a 10. She tens at the nines. I think that was her caption. But let's look at the Atlanta Dream, because honestly, I was not familiar with Bree Jones' games. The thighs are thigh. This looks like a really rich girl going to the mall in Miami. The strappy shoes, the blouse. It's given boardwalk. I really love this look from Shatori Walker Kimbrough as well. It's giving alt. It's giving Edgewood Greaser. For those who are in Atlanta, if you know, you know, you know. I love the jacket too. Important Nobody. That's just a vibe. It's real alt girly. And then BG, that's obviously my twin with the jersey. I really love this simple outfit, jersey, Chuck Taylors. And then we got three LC. We got TLC with these three. Alicia is obviously T-Boz. Ron Howard is giving chili, and Naz is giving left eye, which makes sense because she is the spicy one. She's the little sister, like holding everything down. So shout out to the Atlanta Dream and their fits. Now the Seattle Storm, Madam President with this lime green ensemble, it's just exquisite. It's this woman means business. I can see her working in like an art gallery. Then we got Lil Sis, Dominique Malonga, honestly, looks like sophomore, junior year in high school, but she is the baby. So this fit makes sense for her. Ezzy McBagor, very exquisite. I'm liking the leather jacket vibe. Gabby Williams, look like she could be going out for cocktails. I don't know. I like the denim. It's very cute. It's giving 2000s with the shoes. Erica Wheeler, I'm probably a little biased because my mask girlies, my mask presenting folk, I love the pants. The sweater is a little hot. I'm down here in the South. I don't know where they at. I don't know what the temperature is like in Seattle because I'm looking at these outfits and I kind of can't tell because Gabby looks like she's more in a hot situation and she even got tan lines. And then everybody else looks like they're cold a little bit. So I don't know. Zaya Cook, Really, I'm feeling this fit. I love the oversized bag. I love the baggy jeans. Now, Las Vegas. This is my team. I'm feeling the vibes all the way around. Asia got the schoolgirl look. Oops, I did it again. Looks with the pigtails. I really love this fun look. Tiffany Mitchell, this is giving edgy. Is this a denim onesie? I don't know. I like it. It's edgy. I, I rocks with it. Twin, KB, you can't go wrong with the polo. It's giving like Fresh Prince vibe, class clown. It makes sense. She cool. She chilling. She probably got the yays on them, like some Cartier frames with the Tims. Very simple look. I'm feeling it. Aaliyah Nye, it's giving fancy. She could also be going to the mall. Long denims, cute little clutch purse. I'm feeling it. And Jordin, she's not a part of the Aces, but she's dripped down in Asia Wilson. I'm gonna call it Asia Wilson Couture. I'm feeling it with the fours. Yeah, it's a look. I like it. She should have just had on some Asia Wilsons and would have completed the whole vibe. But I'm rocking with her. Now the Indiana Fever. It's a lot of variety in the looks that we have here. We got Sophie Cunningham in Your Boyfriend's Tea. Looks like looks like she just rolled up out of bed, but she looks good. One thing about Sophie Cunningham, you cannot like whatever you want to not like about her, but she's a looker. She's a bombshell. We got Sydney Colson in the mustard. Don't know how I feel about that bag, but I do like the sweatsuit. Lexi Hall, she looked like she just left yoga, like a hot yoga class. Just stopped for a little latte or a cold iced coffee, if you will, at Starbucks. Erin McDonald looked like she just hopped off the plane. I get it. It's comfy fit. And then Michaela Timpson with the ode to Natasha Howard. I thought that was cool. She looking up to her vet, throwing her on a t-shirt. I like it. Chicago Sky, Angel Reese with the strappy look. It's giving Matrix. I like it. I don't know what vibe it is. It's like she's in the future and she's not to be played with. And I'm really liking the braids with, the back out. I really like this look for her. Then you got Rachel Banham. It's giving teacher, student teacher, if you will. Elizabeth Williams is kind of the same vibe. They probably teach at the same school. I don't know. Elizabeth Williams also could have just came from TJ Maxx. I don't know. HBL, I'm feeling this. It's just a gym look. She means business. And HBL has been hooping lately. And then I had to throw myself in there because shout out to Cherry Company for the jersey. This was my go to work fit. And it was a Monarch jersey. If you're a Kansas City fan or if you just like sporty drip, anyway, just go to cherryco.com and get you some gear. I appreciate them for looking out. Now, there was a lot of headlines this week. Wow. First off, the Portland Fire, literally, the Portland Fire fire their first ever employee who was the president, now former president, Inky's son. And according to CBS, it's unclear exactly what led to Son's departure, but the organization is well behind schedule with its official rollout, and the last few months have been rocky and significant growing pains. So the brand currently has no identity, and the club does not have a general manager, despite being officially announced as an expansion franchise in September 2024. Honestly, this sounds so crazy because we really have not heard much from the Portland Fire. We have been seeing the Toronto Tempo. They've been posting, and it honestly, I'm engaged to whatever it is they're doing. But Portland, it's not looking like they're going to be a team anytime soon, although I'm pretty sure that it's anticipated for them to be ready to draft players in 2026. So they got to get this show on the road if they're still trying to hit that date. Now, in better news, two WNBA franchises are changing up ownership. The Sparks announced a majority ownership change, which brings the Sparks and the Lakers back together. That's this guy right here, Mark Walter. He is also a part of the ownership group for the LA Dodgers. And I think that this is something to keep an eye on. I feel like it's a good thing, but you really don't know what's good or bad because he's now going to be like a part of all of these LA franchises, the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Sparks. I think that is good because it could bring more marketing and just more money in a facility, more things for the Sparks. and it brings them back together with the Lakers and for the first time since 2014. And I think that's important because being a sister team to an NBA team, I think has its perks. So I'm just going to keep my eye on it. The biggest thing for me is I hope they get better jerseys because right now I hate the Sparks jersey. And now it kind of makes sense because it's not affiliated with the Lakers and with trademarking and things like that. They probably had to do something completely different, especially since the colorway is still so similar. So probably because of the trademarking and copyrights, that's why they had to go so left with their design. So hopefully we just see some better things with the Sparks. Now, the Minnesota Lynx are also changing ownership. Glenn Taylor and his wife announced they are stepping away. That means these two guys, Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez. Now, some of you may know A-Rod from baseball. So him being an athlete gives me a little hope about what this could be because I feel like athletes can empathize with other athletes and they know what other athletes need. And he's been a part of business for a while and he's been a host on some shows. So I'm hoping that he's just a personal guy, a guy that knows how to make money, and a guy that knows how to turn the marketing aspect for the Minnesota Lynx around because I think for a winning franchise, the type of franchise that they are, I should just be seeing more. I feel like their social media should be on the level that Seattle and Las Vegas is because they're also a winning franchise, probably the pillar of franchises in the W. So I'm expecting more and I'm excited to see what Mark Lore and A-Rod got up their sleeve with this. Now,
what more people need to do. Just block the people and move on, bro. Like, this is what we wanted. We wanted more eyes on the game. We wanted more people talking about the game. Whether it's good or bad, it don't matter. If you don't like it, block them. Move on. But this is what we want. This is what we always wanted. So, let's embrace this.
Man, fuck them.
So, y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard Courtney Williams. She said block them. Block the people and move on. Now, I relate to that message. I feel like it makes sense. You know, I have to do it for my own platform. People troll me all day, every day. People disagree with me all day, every day. People are very passionate about sports. Now, I'm not as popular as any of the women in the WNBA, and some of them are receiving hate on a whole new level. The issue becomes for me when it goes from online to offline. So it's very easy for her to say, block them and move on. And I'm sure that she's had to do that with her own social media platforms. But the issue is she doesn't have the same experiences as all of the other players, right? Because we saw what happened with Angel Reese. We saw what happened with Dejanay Carrington and with JC Sheldon just recently. So every player doesn't have the same experience. So it's easy for Courtney Williams to say, just block them and move on. But I feel like she needs to have more of a conversation with her peers to see how real this thing is for other people and to really get other sides of the story. While what she's saying has some validity to it, I think that she's not seeing the whole picture, and that leaves room to that leaves room for saying things that are hurtful to other people. So while I agree, I think she needs to open up her mind just a little bit. So moving on, we have the Indiana Fever debacle. There is a lot going on with this team. First things first, DeWanna Bonner being waived, Aari McDonald being re-signed. Now, while I knew that Aari would be re-signed with a team, it was not on my bingo card that she would be being signed again with the Indiana Fever. And I also didn't really love the fit of DeWanna Bonner on the Fever. I did not think that they would waive her just because that's a lot of money that they essentially had to pay out for the rest of her contract. She was worth $200,000 with the Fever. So they had to waive her and pay her out. And now she's on the hunt for another team. And the hard part about this is she's going to take a significant pay cut no matter where she goes. She's probably going to end up having to take a veteran contract, which is around $72,000. So around 72K when you had 200K, that's a big deal. I don't know what's going on. Everybody's like a person like DeWanna Bonner just doesn't up and leave a team. It was insinuated by her coach that she quit, and she fired back with a quitter. Nah, never been that. But when the time comes, let's just make sure the apologies are as just as loud as the disrespect. Now, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. I've never tried to be disrespectful with any of the takes that I have on this. I just felt like she had not been producing with Indiana. And I also think that a part of that was because of how they were utilizing her in Indiana. So it wasn't all of her fault. But then at the same time, when I looked over her stats from the last few years and then specifically looking at how she performed in Connecticut just last season, I knew that she was going to be an up and down type of player. Them signing her for that much was simply a mistake. She shouldn't have had that big of a contract to begin with. So, really, at the end of the day, it's still the Indiana Fever's fault. Now, if she's actually going to go to Phoenix or Atlanta, I just think it's highly unlikely. I feel like she would mess up the flow that these teams have. And Atlanta is in a really good place. They're figuring things out. They already have high volume shooters in Ron Howard and Alicia Gray. You don't really need anybody else that shoots sporadically. And obviously, DeWanna wants to be a 1-2 or at least third option. I don't even think she would be a third option in Atlanta because of all of the weapons that they have there. And I really don't think that she fits. She's not consistent enough a three-point shooter to fit with the type of offense they're wanting to run. And she's also not a fit in the post to be that down low presence, because when they put her at the down low, when they put her in the post in Indiana, she wasn't doing well, and she has to defend that side of she has to defend the post. So I think that's where she struggled in Indiana, and she's really more of a wing player, and Atlanta just doesn't need that. And I can say similar things about Phoenix. I don't think that the Phoenix Mercury need that. Phoenix are looking like championship contenders, and there's a few teams that I feel are looking like that, because I know y'all like, dang, Coach C, how many teams can be championship contenders at this point in the season? With the championship so far down the line, you have to really consider a lot of teams that way at this point. I think Atlanta is one. I think that Phoenix is one. Minnesota is one. The New York Liberty. Those are my four that in Seattle. So there's five. There's five teams that I feel like are championship contenders right now at this point in the season. And the Phoenix Mercury is probably the second team. Minnesota is at number one, and then Phoenix is right at number two. I don't even know the standings off the top of my head, but I can't be too off base with that. But I love what they have. They've been able to gel even more as a team when they were missing Alyssa Thomas and they were missing Kalia Copper and Natasha Mack. They were missing their stars. Satu really got the chance to gel with some of the role players. The role players are shining. You got Sammy Whitcomb. You got Monique McConney. They just have so many weapons of people that are really kind of unknown players. So they're able to play a little bit more unselfish than a lot of other teams, I think, because of that. And I think Alyssa Thomas coming back in and Kalia Copper are just really icing on the cake, but they were performing well without them. So I don't think that she should come in and disturb that team's peace. Not that she's a disturbance, but I'm just saying, don't mess up a good thing. I don't think that they should add her to the team, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what she's willing to sacrifice, if she's willing to compromise to go to another team in order to play the second half of the season, because I just don't see those options. So I think that she may need to make a compromise. Now, another thing, Caitlin Clark, the star, has been in a shooting slump, and she's now suffering from a growing injury. And I have an article out on women's basketball 365.com right now that talks about how I think her growing injury is connected to her ankle injuries. Now, when I started to look into things, I noticed that it was also reported that in high school, she dealt with a really bad ankle sprain, and it caused her to miss a game. And that was the last time that she missed a game. She didn't miss any games at Iowa, but that's not to say that she did not get hurt while there. It's the same thing when you're looking at her rookie season last season. There's two notable ankle injuries that she had last season, but she did not miss a game. So with the sports science that I do know that I have to educate myself on as a coach and personal trainer, I know that lower leg injuries, specifically ankle injuries, can impact our upper body, especially when we're just talking about our ankles to our hips. All of that is connected. Our body is like a chain. Our muscles are all connected. So when one thing is ailing us, it may impact another thing. So if she does not believe in load management and rest, which it seems like this is a thing. At first I was blaming it on the franchise for not sitting her out, but now it's starting to feel like this is just who she is. She wants to play, and I get it. She's competitive. She loves the game. She wants to play. But in order to have longevity in the league, she's going to need to rest, especially with the regular season expanding, with the finals expanding. If she were to even make it to the finals, would she be able to last a 7-game series? Right now, she's looking really fragile. And in order for her to get out of this, she's gonna have to rest. And the franchise, even when she doesn't want to rest, the franchise has to put their foot down and make her rest. Even with so Kelsey Plum told her to sit down during the Indiana versus Los Angeles game because she was standing up on the sideline. She's supposed to be resting, and she's up arguing with the refs and just being dramatic about calls. She does need to sit down, and I'm glad that Kelsey Plum said it. She probably just said it to be funny or to try to get a take on the team, but she has to start resting. And there's a lot of people, when I came out with this article, a lot of people feel like she's faking her injury. Do I think she's faking her injury? Absolutely not. This is a woman that wants to play. She's not my favorite player. Indiana is not my favorite team, but I'm not going to act like I think that she's scared to play Paige Beckers or to play Kelsey Plum. No, she played, first of all, she played Kelsey Plum last season. She played Paige Beckers in college. So I don't think she's ducking any smoke. I know some people are just saying it to be funny, but I think that she actually is hurt. And I think that her injuries are all connected. The groin was connected to the hamstring issue. Those are actually very close to each other. And she probably did not fully in fact, I'm not even going to say probably. I know that she did not fully rest and heal from that injury because those injuries really take weeks. And she was not out weeks. She was maybe out a couple of games, which spanned it into maybe a week and a half, but she was not out for an extended period of time. So she's not allowing herself time to recover. So, I mean, the Fever may need to be looking at better staff in their in their conditioning teams or with their athletic teams, with their trainers. They need to be looking at staff that's going to be honest about where the athlete is, so they're protecting the players. Now, moving on. The Gamecocks have been dominating. We got Camila Cardoso and Aaliyah Boston, who had career nights in the same night. Aaliyah Boston, 31 points. Camila Cardoso, 27 points, their career highs. And I said former Gamecocks, but once a Gamecock, always a Gamecock. Then we have Alicia Gray is second in 3-pointers made with 43 pointers made on the season. I also forgot to mention that Aaliyah Boston and Camila Cardoso are also leading in field goal percentage. Boston is number one with 59.7%, and Cardoso is number two at 56.1%. Tahina Powpow is tied with Lexi Hull at second in 3-point percentage at 50%, and Asia Wilson reached a career high of 5,000 or career 5,000 career points, should I say. Asia Wilson reached 5,000 career points. She's also second in reboundings, trailing Angel Reese, and second in points per game, trailing Nafisa Collier. Now, speaking of the Aces, Jade Melbourne lost a tooth in that Washington win over the Aces. Washington now has 2 huge wins over the Lynx and the Aces. Those are 2 powerhouse teams, But truthfully, the Aces aren't playing powerhouse defense. They're really not playing like a powerhouse team, but they're, should I say, powerhouse franchise. The Mystics have wins over powerhouse franchises. Now, I want to add a new addition to this show called Film Study. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to break down just a couple of minutes of Aces film, specifically their defense, because that's where where their biggest ailments are on the defensive end. So what's about to happen on this play is Aaliyah Edwards is about to get handed the ball, and she's about to hand it off to Lucy Olsen in the corner. Honestly, anyone could see this play forming from a mile away. It's pretty obvious. At no point did Aaliyah even look like she was going to attack the ball, but KB was playing such lax defense. Jackie Young was also playing lax defense, and this is the defense that I have seen from the Aces throughout multiple games, and this is why I believe they are in the position that they're in. So Aaliyah Edwards gets the ball. Look how far KB is playing off from her. Typically in defense, you want to be arm's length apart. She's definitely more than arm's length apart. It's just the first quarter, so that means no one should be tired. We should be playing aggressive defense to set the tone. But also, since she knows that she's about to hand the ball off, why not disrupt this play from even happening? Jackie Young got beat. I don't even know how she got beat because she's definitely faster than Lucy Olsen. So I'm gonna assume that she got caught staring or just lollygagging in her own world. But everybody's lax. Aaliyah hands the ball off. Jackie goes under the screen, which is already, I'm sure in the scouting report, they found out that Lucy Olsen is a 3-point shooter. She goes behind the screen. KB never hedged. She didn't show to even play on the ball to make it a little more difficult. So Lucy is going to end up with a wide open 3. It's just easy money. I'm just going to let it play through again. Aaliyah gets the ball, easily hands it off. Easy 3, just easy money. Like, what are we doing? Next play down is kind of similar. Okay. Suge is coming down. She's going to pass the ball off again to Lucy Olsen. Lucy gets the ball. Jackie is already chasing. Why she's chasing, I don't understand how she keeps getting behind Lucy. And we know that Jackie is fast. So to me, she's just not paying attention. So she's chasing already. Lucy gets the ball, goes over the screen this time, which is a little bit better. Kia is in a situation where she's in help defense, so she doesn't want to overcommit to Lucy because it's going to leave the role for Aaliyah open. But the issue is once she recognizes that Lucy is going to actually drive, she never gets in front of her, but instead plays lazy defense and tries to go for the block instead. So watch it play out. At this point, she should just be cutting Lucy off. Just cut the ball off here to stop, because you now see that she's gearing up to go downhill. Still, I can understand her being a little bit high because the Aaliyah Edwards is essentially open for this pocket pass if she wanted to kick it. Now she's still to the side of her. At no point did Kia Stokes ever get in front of her to get position where she could have potentially taken a charge, but at the very least, forced Lucy to pick the ball up, forced a jump ball situation, just stop the ball completely. No, she goes to the side and tries to go for the block. Let's watch it all the way back. All right, goes over the screen. Could have been a pocket pass. Nope. Easy lay. All right, next play. This play, we're going to take it back a little bit because they got Suge looking like a track star. Suge gets the ball off the inbound. She beats Dana. It looks like Dana. She's beating Dana. So the help defense, it looks like this is Kia right here. She has her back turned. I can understand her missing this. But Chelsea Gray is here. She should have been the next play up. She should have been able to stop the ball. She should see that Suge is attacking. And also, Dana should be yelling, help, help, I got beat. But she doesn't. So Suge is attacking. Chelsea Gray is still in her own world. I don't even know where Chelsea Gray's man is. I don't even know who she's playing. Suge gets escorted to the basket. Too easy. Watch it back. Suge beats Dana. No help defense. Everybody looking. Straight to the lane, straight through the lane. All right, this one. We're acting again like we don't know the scouting report. So this time, A'ja Wilson is the culprit. She's the help defense. Jackie is going to get stuck behind the screen. Jackie is flat-footed to begin with. This is fake defense to me. Flat-footed. Sonya goes over the screen. A'ja has to hedge. She has to hedge harder because she knows this is the three-point shooter. She has to close out. Open 3-point. It's practice for Washington at this point. All right, so this one, very similar situation. I think all of the plays where they're getting beat involves screening. So this time, Sugar's going to get a screen from Shakira Austin. This looks like Joyner Holmes. So Dana Evans and Joyner Holmes, that's what it looks like. So Dana caught behind the screen. All right, so Shakira is rolling. Joyner Holmes is back. I don't really even know if it's a situation where Joyner doesn't really know how the Aces reacts towards screens because I don't think she was in good position for either option. So she looks like she wants to trap here, but if that's the case, then Elizabeth Kitley has to bump the cutter, has to cut Shakira off, but then that will also leave Kiki Iriafen open, which I would be less worried about because Kiki isn't really a three-point shooter. But Elizabeth Kitley is still looks like she's worried about Kiki, so she doesn't commit to helping defense, to bumping the cutter. They look like they're looking to trap Suge here. Suge kicks it to Shakira. There's no help. Elizabeth Kitley is behind. Dana is out of position. Joyner Holmes is out of position. Now Washington is just playing because Shakira really could have took that lay, but instead she kicks it out to Sonya Citron, who knocks it down because they're up like 62-46 at this point. All right, so now moving on to the Indiana game because I saw some of the same things in that game, even though they were able to pull off the win in this situation. So Caitlin Clark gets it on the inbound. Oh, so Caitlin Clark gets it. She's on the inbound. Everybody's jogging. It just looks like everybody's jogging. Chelsea Gray, that might just be as fast as she can run. But Jackie Young, okay, so now we're on a 3-on-1 situation. This is a situation where we practice this in basketball all the time, like from grade school on up. 3-on-1 situation. Jackie Young is honestly a little bit too high to play in between these two players because she has to play the ball. She has to play in between and help. It's a tough situation, but it just looks like she was kind of just going through the motions, like what I've seen from them in general. Okay, so Caitlin gets it. Everybody's jogging. Jackie Young's too high. At this point, she wants to protect the 3-point line, I guess, or contest the 3-point line because they know Caitlin is a 3-point shooter, but she has options. She kicks it out, and Natasha Howard for the easy lay. Just bad transition defense. Nobody's really sprinting. Everybody jogging. 3-on-1, easy lay. So this play right here has to be in the scouting report. Indiana does this multiple times throughout the game, especially when Caitlin Clark is playing. It's a backdoor for Lexi Hull. All right, so Lexi Hull is in the corner. Jackie Young is watching Caitlin, I'm guessing, but she's not watching Lexi because Lexi is about to slip right by her. And it wasn't even a fake or anything. It was literally just she's watching Caitlin and Lexi just goes. It's no fake like she was gonna stay. She just takes off and it's an easy lay. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing from the Aces. These are just a few moments, but I see these as reoccurring events. And it's going to be hard to win games, especially against the better teams when your defense is having these kind of lapses. There were some big wins this week from the Washington Mystics taking down the Minnesota Lynx and the Las Vegas Aces to Chicago beating Los Angeles. So Camila Cardoso had her career high in that game, but she did it efficiently, 66% from the floor, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. Angel Reese had the braids. She was looking like AI out there, but she had 6 assists, 18 points. She was also efficient, 50% from the floor, 17 rebounds, and 4 steals. She was doing everything. I mean, this is what we expected to see from the Twin Towers, or shall I say the skyscrapers, from the jump. And I'm really appreciating that effort. And then we have the Indiana Fever beating the Seattle Storm. Boston and Mitchell combined for 57 points. Lexi Hall had 11 rebounds. She had a double-double. And now we know rebounds wins games. The Indiana Fever out-rebounded Seattle 38-21, and that really could be the story of the game. 15 of those rebounds were offensive. You can't give up 15 offensive rebounds. That's too many second chance points. Dallas beat Atlanta and Washington. What I've noticed in that last game where Dallas beat Washington was Nola Henry was in those huddles sitting down and talking. So she looks to be more engaged from a team point of view, because we already knew that she was individually talking to players, and players were coming over to her after, timeouts or after they were subbed out of the game to get her feedback. But now she's in the huddles. So it looks like she's having more of a role with the team and the continuity, and it's kind of showing. JJ Quinterly looked great facilitating in the absence of Paige Beckers, who's been out with a knee injury. Conclainers is playing around with those starters. I like that. I like when coaches take a risk. At first, he was really fixed, and I think that the injuries really forced him to adjust. And that is the silver lining for teams when injuries happen. It makes other players have to step up, and I think those rookies have been doing that. And really, when you look at Dallas, I feel like he's a defensive minded coach. The defense never really was the issue for this team. It was their offensive continuity. In those 13 losses, there aren't many double digit losses. There's definitely more single digit losses than double digit losses. And I always felt that their defense was strong for the most part. Now it's just figuring out how to make this offense work when you have a player like Arike, who is a high volume scorer. And sometimes those shots are just painful. It's like they're great when they hit, but sometimes they're just out of the flow of the offense, and it throws things off and it allows opportunities for the other team. So I still don't know if Arike and Paige are going to work. I think that they are playing to better together now, but I think that Dallas may need to look into their future, and I don't know if Arike is a part of their future, especially when you have JJ Quinterly having career games in her first start. You have Isaiah James, who's getting better every single game. They just have a bright future with their youth, and hey, if they continue on this streak of just being this bad, they may even end up with AZ Fudd. So now we're coming to the wrap. So when I wrap up this show, I think I'm gonna do this every time. I just gotta check in to see how y'all feeling. Who's your favorite coach in the league right now? I think the unanimous favorite coach has been Coach Nakase with the Golden State Valkyries. I mean, she's the underdog and she's doing it with so much style, and they're just a fun team to watch. Everybody wrote them off, including me. I was not anticipating them performing this well, but let's just go through their records really quick. So Dallas is 5-13 right now. Atlanta is 11-6 with a win over New York today. Mystics are 8-9. Chicago is 5-11 now with the win over the Sparks today. The Sparks are now 5-12. The Valkyries are 8-7, and the Sun are 2-14, and they'll probably end up 2-15 by the end of the night. And this also leads us to a question: should the WNBA teams continue to hire new coaches, new first-time head coaches? Do you like what you're seeing with these experiments, so to say, for lack of better words? This has been an experiment with some of these coaches, even though they don't have any WNBA head coaching experience. It's not like they don't have any experience in the coaching position at all. How do you think they're faring? How do you think they're doing right now? Do you think that hiring new coaches is something we should do as we continue to progress and try new things in general, or should we continue to hire experienced coach? But when you answer that question, you have to look to Stephanie White, because Stephanie White is an experienced coach, and the Indiana Fever are so right now, a little lukewarm. So it's not like this experienced coach is just out coaching any of these I mean, she's out coaching some of these new coaches, But with that said, she's not out coaching all of them. But I can say that I think that I think that the Valkyries had a tougher schedule than some of these teams. And they probably would have done even better if they had the Atlanta schedule. The Valkyries have already played the New York Liberty like 3 times. They played the Minnesota Lynx. I just think they had a tough schedule, and they're still faring out. They're still over 500. So Valkyries are my number 1 rookie coach, and then Atlanta at number 2, and then the Mystics at number 3. I am starting to feel a little bit better about what's going on with Dallas. I think that they're coming together. The togetherness is coming to form. I'm seeing the vision. Chicago is progressing, and with them able to get that win over the Sparks the second time without Camila Cardoso is saying a lot. And I think that things are just coming together for a lot of these teams, except for the Sun. Honestly, the Sun are just still suffering, and I don't even know what to say for that. But as we wrap up, I just want to plug in once again, head over to the website, www.womensbasketball365.com. I have new articles on there. You can sign up for the newsletter. There's going to be more writers. There's going to be more content exclusive to the website. So make sure you're already plugged in. And I have to say, follow me on X, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Bluesky. Those links are going to be in the description. Thank you so much for coming back for episode 10. And thank you just for everything, just for all of the life you speak into me, and even for the haters, because hating pays too. But as always, folks, let's talk hoops.